Welcome back, everybody. It's Andrew Love in the house. And so today I'm going to do a solo cast, all right? This is my second attempt. I stopped the first recording halfway through because I realized I was going off. I was really going off. I was getting a little too into it. And the hardest part about recording these solo casts is that I don't know if I'm going too fast, too slow, if I'm repeating myself too much, because I can't see your faces. That's what I love about people and humans, is that when you talk to them, you can tell if they're engaging with what you're saying. That's not the only reason why I love humans, by the way, is so that I can know when to shut up. I love humans for many reasons, and I love different humans for different reasons. Okay, with that caveat out of the way, I just wanted to get this idea to you as quickly as possible, because as much as I love talking, I don't love doing podcasts because it's just like I'm speaking into a void. But when an idea is so hot and so fresh, I can't hold it. It burns my hands. It burns my celestial hands. So I gotta get it out. It's like hot potato. I gotta get it out into the world, into the rest of your ears and consciousness, because that's how we all evolve as quickly as possible. And this is something that clearly was not of my own making or any of us. It was inspired through the thread of our collective humanity. It was really cool. I got this guy reach out to me. He's a facilitator. And I was asking about how his group is doing. And he said one of his guys was really struggling. And I said, well, tell me more, because I love helping when I can. And he said that the guy in his group, one of the guys, was struggling because he set this really lofty North Star goal, and yet he's really just struggling with the basics. He's in the muck, in the dirt, just in the mud, rolling around. He can't even get up. So to think that he's going to be flying these high planes and doing these great lofty things with his life while he's chained and stuck to his, just a slave to his bad habits, is almost painful, almost more painful than not having a goal at all. And I completely understood where he was coming from, because a lot of us do this, right? We'll create a goal that's a little bit beyond our belief, beyond what we think we could actually do, but we want to believe that we could do it, but we don't really believe. So we set this kind of goal, and then we say, I want to do that. And we think that we're gonna get inspiration from the vision of this thing, right? So let's say, like, I want to become this great man in my career. And so you set this goal, and the vision of it in the beginning seems very exciting. The more you think about it, the more it gives you this giddy feeling of, yeah, I could totally take over the world. I'm gonna do so well. And you start to fill in your vision with specifics, and it just starts to vibrate in you in this really cool way where you feel wonderful. Nothing's happened. It's all just occurring in your mind and in your heart. But for some reason, just thinking about it gives you the good vibes. But after a few kind of rough days, the vision starts to fade a little bit, and it starts to just kind of feel like words. Like if you do affirmations or anything like that, it's just kind of like you're repeating it from your mind, and you stop feeling it. And then if that happens for long enough, then not only do you lose the good feelings that you once have, they start to be replaced with negative feelings. Because now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm a failure. I am absolutely a suckfest. I'm just a mountain of poop and I can't achieve anything. And that's what you're left with. So this thing that started out so inspiring and so motivating because you have this vision and now you have all this energy and you want to create, it's now turned into this lump of coal in your sock. It turned into this pit in your stomach, this feeling where you're a failure, okay? I know every single one of us has been there before because we've all failed at our goals at one time or another. But if you do this enough, then you start to either blame yourself and say that I suck, or you start to blame things like high noon sucks or the North Star goal sucks. So there's got to be some blame put somewhere because this is not working, right? And so that's why I completely understand what this guy was mentioning to me. So what we've done based on that is we've created a hybrid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you don't know that, then please take off your blinders, get out from under the rock from whence you came, and Google it, okay? It's pretty common. It's like, I think middle school or high school, you learn about this kind of stuff. But it's just 5 stages of needs that humans have to feel fulfilled. It's like a fulfillment chart, basically. And so I realized that our North Star goals should actually be congruent with the levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of break this down. We are presently making a chart so that you can see it visually. Definitely a visual learner, so I completely get that. But I wanted to pull this up, and obviously you can't see it, but I can. I'll explain it point by point. So in Maslow's hierarchy, it's a triangle. Doesn't mean it's the Illuminati, just a triangle, guys, just a shape. You learn these things in kindergarten, right? At the very bottom, these are our base needs, all right? So our physiological needs are the foundation of everything. That means air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Reproduction doesn't mean porn, by the way. Fellas, okay? Keep yourself together. Reproduction is a biological need eventually when the time is right to make babies and all that. Okay, so here's our baseline. Now, it's kind of hard if you were just to look at the Maslow chart and say, oh yeah, that's very clear how I can make a North Star goal out of water. But if you think about our modern life, actually this makes a whole lot of sense. Because I know a lot of people that I'm helping that actually don't. So the first one is air. They don't breathe right. I was just working with somebody today talking about the physiological side because he's really stressed out. And if you look up, if you YouTube or Google the physiological side, it's a form of breathing. It's a methodology of breathing that allows you to de-stress yourself. It's what dogs do. It's you breathe in twice, you go, that double breath in is every time you see a dog, they pace around in circles and then they sit down, they lie down, and then they are about to get into a nap. They always do that side. That's them de-stressing. It's getting into like a super comfortable way. So think about that. Breathing, water. Are you drinking enough water really for your health? Food. Are you eating junk food or are you eating healthy food? Food that helps you be in optimal form. Shelter, sleep. Let's get into sleep. Like, are you sleeping well enough? These could be the reasons for so many people's slip-ups because they're so stressed out because they're not eating well, not sleeping well, they're not breathing well, they're not drinking enough water, they're just not taking care of their physical body. So their physical body's stressed, which culminates into emotional stress, which leads to them wanting to escape that stress, hence PMO, right? So just super basic, but this is very helpful. I'm sure for a lot of you, you might be at this stage. Just focus on that for your North Star goal for 3 months. Just getting these basic things locked down. Develop a system, develop habits that allow you to really thrive physically so that you can be in optimal form, okay? The next level in Maslow's triangle is safety needs. So that's personal security, it's employment, resources, health, property. So the way that I broke this down is these are pretty basic needs as well, but when they're not in place, it can really mess with us. So if you think about personal security, that could be just, even I was talking to somebody today who they live in an apartment with some roommates and the roommates are fighting a lot. That's creating stress in his life, right? Do you have a neighbor? I have these neighbors and they have this giant monster dog. I don't know if you've ever seen the Sandlot movie, where there's that like 30-foot dog. They have this dog next door to me. And recently they've taken to this new habit of letting him wander around and just poop right in front of our house. It's pretty gnarly. So when you have wild neighbors like that, it can cause stress. What else? Employment, right? If you don't have stable, if you're scraping by financially from 1 month to the next month, it can be extremely stressful, okay? I put this down as kind of your environment. Your environment could be your physical environment. It could be your financial environment. But these safety needs, do you have financial safety, emotional safety, or do you have somebody in your life who's kind of regularly attacking you, making you feel bad, this kind of thing? So if you look at your safety needs and they're not so well, then that's a great North Star goal. Spend 3 months getting more financially secure, getting more environmentally secure. So if you know about feng shui, like where your bed is in your room, a lot of times switching up your room actually helps you re-relate with how you spend time in your room. Like learning how to dominate your environment so that your environment doesn't dominate you. That's this level, okay? The next one is love and belonging. So that's friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. So the opposite of addiction is connection. That's the old saying in the addiction world. So what is connection? Connection is intimacy. It's a sense of closeness between my heart and somebody else's heart, my heart and my own heart, my heart and God's heart. This is a matter of prayer. It's a matter of spending enough time together. I was talking to somebody today and he found solace in spending time with a bunch of dogs. And he's like, is that okay? Like, is that intimacy? And I was like, yeah, to me, that's like a snack of intimacy. So animals, pets, they're meant to give us, these like little hits of cute creature comforts. Like I'm petting this dog and I feel good, they feel good, everybody feels good, right? But it's definitely not the same level as being in a marriage with somebody, being in a long-term friendship with somebody. But for him, it was like, yeah, that's great. Just understand that every once in a while, you'll probably need like a bump of animal love and go hug a dog. First, ask the owner, of course, but go and set up your life so that you understand how many times a week do you need to go hang out with friends? How much time do you need to spend in prayer to actually connect with the heart of God? Not an empty prayer from your head, just words, but like actually connecting your heart to God's heart. How much time do you need to spend connecting with your parents, right? These are goals in loving and belonging. And to be honest, I would say that most people who join a high noon program, they're at this level. They have intimacy issues. So to work on how to become more intimate with yourself, with people in your life, to set your life up so that you have casual friends that you just laugh around with and do fun stuff with, but also deep friends where you can go and cry with or laugh until you cry with, these kind of real deep friendships as well. And then animals, pets, whatever. Yeah, and then friends to do activities with, the gamut. You need to find out what your needs actually are in those areas. And to set a 3-month North Star goal based on that is fantastic. Next one is esteem, and that's respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. So we all want to be recognized, and our value comes not from the world. It comes from our divinity, from the fact that we're children of God. So even if we have a bad day at work, guess what? You're still valuable, right? Communism doesn't think that. It's like, oh, you're not a good employee, let's kill you. Let's just get rid of you, right? Because you're just a cog in a machine. That's not how this works. Like every single cell in your body is valuable because they're all a part of this interlinked network of cells. Same with human beings. We're all intrinsically valuable, okay? But extrinsically, like we all need to be a part of an active, fruitful part of a collective, right? That's kind of like the third blessing in the divine principle. But the idea is we need to find our value from within and then expand that value outward so that we can help other people. And that's through the form of volunteering or through your job or school, through your community. And so if we don't get this, there's definitely a huge void in our life. But it's nearly impossible to be an effective community member if you're not already doing these other 3 levels, right? So this is very gradual. The esteem comes after love and belonging because that's you in more intimate, smaller relationships. And that's also predicated on safety needs, which is based on first your physiological needs. So it's this graduation of one to the next. And the last one is self-actualization. And to me, I just reworded that as fulfilled, right? So to be fulfilled is to not want to be anyone other than you. That doesn't mean having perfect days all the time or never having sadness or the range of emotions. We need the range of emotions. God has them, we need them. That's a part of life, right? It's much more about committing to a life of resolving all that life throws at you with the 5 high noon virtues: honesty, accountability, grace, integrity, courage, okay? Now, when you're at this level, setting a goal is like, how do I continually thrive? If I'm doing well, how do I do better? And how do I do it in a way that impacts more lives? We are in an expansive universe. And because of that, by our very nature, we are expansive. So if you have something good and you're connected to God, you want to spread that good. Like you hear good news, you want to tell somebody about it. You get financially blessed, you want to take somebody out for dinner, or you want to, whatever the case may be. So when you look at life and North Star goals through these 5 stages, I think it's very helpful to look at where you're at and what needs the most focus right now. And I think some of you will be thinking, well, I have issues in all of these areas. Sure, like every once in a while, even wealthy people have money problems, or they're stressed and they have air problems, right? The point is, what are you going to focus the next 3 months on? What's the most acute problem that you have right now that you believe is causing the stress, the anxiety, the fear, whatever it is, that strong emotion that pulls you towards porn, towards masturbation, towards a life of unconsciousness, okay? And if you really kind of look over your days, you'll notice that there's a dominant cause, a dominant reason pushing you towards PMO. And that will probably lie in one of these areas. Well, it will definitely, but more dominantly in one of these areas. So it could be, okay, I'm pretty stressed out, but actually I've just been isolating myself. So I really want to focus on love and belonging. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to really focus on developing more sincere relationships. I'm going to reach out to the people who are already in my life. I'm going to start calling them more and letting them know how much I value them and that I would love to continue our friendship on a deeper level. I'm going to go out and meet some new people. I'm going to put myself in situations to meet new people. I'm going to pray to God to show me some new person that I can love and that I can give value to and take care of or whatever, compliment, whatever the case may be, right? So that right there is a great starting point to create a North Star goal. But it could also be, honestly, I know so many people, they just have a crappy sleeping habit. And that makes them want to stay in bed later. And while they're in bed, they're scrolling their phone and they waste their mornings. They feel bad all day. And it's honestly just a matter of learning how to sleep well, learning how to create a good night's sleep. So that's down at the physiological needs. Okay. So I hope this helps. Like I said, have this chart ready for you so that you can use it and base your North Star goals on this chart so that you can do a deep dive in one area and see improvement in that area, okay? And how this pertains to sexual integrity is, again, you are always compelled to act against your better self when you are being pulled by a strong negative emotion that's supported by a bad habit. So I really want to be super physically healthy because when I'm really physically healthy, I have more energy and I go out into the world and I feel confident. But then halfway through the day, somebody offers me, they just say, hey, I have too many donuts. Can you take these donuts home? So I take them home and I eat 4 donuts. I feel like crap. And while I feel like crap, I might as well just watch Netflix. And while I'm on Netflix, I might as well stay on Netflix. But actually, it's not racy enough. I want to watch porn. And then here we go, right? It all started with you were clear about who you wanted to be and then you deviated. It started with donuts. Donuts were not the cause, but they were kind of like the domino that created this cascade effect. And the result was a feeling that you're fat or you've failed or this feeling of shame. And while you're down in shameland, you might as well torture yourself as much as possible by also watching porn and doing a bunch of stuff that will make you feel terrible tomorrow. So if you have something clear to work on, then you focus your time and energy on practicing that until it becomes natural. That becomes your default setting. I hope this made sense. I am completely out of saliva and oxygen talking about water and air, everybody. I'm going to go have some of that. Please, as always, reach out if you have any questions. We're going to develop this more and more. I wanted to get it to you today. I'm just developing it now. This is like present time. But this is going to be a part of the narrative of High Noon in the coming years. And it will be a very helpful resource to help you every 3 months. What am I going to focus on? And if you do that, you'll continually be growing and evolving as a person. So thanks everybody for listening. God bless your souls, and I'll see you somewhere sometime soon.